thanks for joining us. I'm Maria Serrao, coming to you today from Chavez Ravine, and of course we're going to talk Dodgers baseball. But first off, there's been an awful lot of fast cars here in Southern California. We're going to start off in Fontana, where Jeff Gordon raced at the California Speedway for the very last time.
You know, we're kind of in our own battle right now. We're just trying to get from that side of the garage to this side of the garage. So, you know, it's certainly obvious that those guys still are carrying a tremendous amount of momentum from last year. You know, last year at this time, I think that they showed a tremendous amount of speed, but they didn't have the team and the chemistry and all the parts and pieces really clicking together. They were making a lot of mistakes. They figured that out the second half of the season, obviously when it really mattered most. And now, you know, I see them being that good or even better than they were, and that's you know, that's certainly something that has all the competitors, you know, concerned about how good they are right now. At the same time, it's a long season, and you can get complacent, and you know, it's the rest of our jobs to find ways to outperform them and get better, find their weaknesses, or find, you know, what their strengths are, and try to build that into our own program. And so, you know, right now we want to win races, but we really want to, you know, just get some consistency and put the results together that I think we're capable of. Then, you know, once we do that, then we can start thinking about how we can beat the 4 car. You know, I went out immediately. I mean, we had no rubber on the track for our practice, so I went out first run and I ran like 11 or 12 laps, and I didn't know, you know, the car drove good, everything felt good. I had a little bit of concern because of the green racetrack. I came in, nobody said one word to me about any issues with the tires. We went out and made about another 10-lap run on those same tires, so I'm assuming they're pretty good, Bob. I haven't heard anything any different.
Well, were you fast?
I thought we were pretty good.
Okay.
You know, I thought our race trim runs were really good, and qualifying, you know, 3 and 4 is tricky. How you get through 3 and 4, what line you take 3 and 4 is, I think, going to be a determining factor of who wins the pole. But yeah, we have a fast race car. Until the pavement starts peeling off and being chucked over the wall, I don't think they should ever change. I mean, if you could tell me, you know, if you could get with a paving company and say, you know, we want brand new pavement that's just like this old pavement that will last for 15 or 20 years, then great, do that. You know, find a way to make that happen. But I understand deterioration gets to a certain point. There's a lot of cracks and seams and everything that they've had to fill at this racetrack, and that can get to the point of deterioration where it's too extreme. And then there's a safety aspect there, and you know, obviously the track has to make a move. What we don't like is that the newer pavement is more advanced, and it's just, you know, tighter. The way the polymers and the aggregate, it's just much smaller and tighter. There's just more surface area, and that's what creates a lot of friction and heat in the tires, and why Goodyear has to build tires that are, you know, so rock hard to handle the durability, because so much heat that gets built up in them. And so what this type of pavement does is it grinds the tires down, wears the tires, dissipates the heat, and just makes the tires slip and slide around a lot more, which is what we tend to like better. So I'm not against new pavement. I just want the new pavement to be like the old pavement. I have not even attempted to go down that path yet. I want to leave this season competitive and up front, and you know, winning races and in the chase with a chance at the championship. So we got a little work to do here first before I can start thinking about anything else. But I look for. I mean, my first, you know, when I think about that, my first step would be to go talk to Chevrolet and talk to them about their motorsports program outside of NASCAR, if any of that was ever going to be even possible. And I haven't done that yet, but at some point I probably will, just to explore. I'm not even sure how much interest I have in that. I got too many other things right now that going on. Yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know, other than the great job that the Speedway and NASCAR have done with this West Coast market, just trying to really recognize who the fans are, where they are, and what's going to get them here, and doing a really good job of reaching out to those folks and utilizing all of their different connections to make that happen. I mean, every time I've come out here, you know, to help promote the race, we've always gotten great support from the media and a lot of different groups, but and there's a lot of fans out here, but it hasn't always translated into people filling the seats until recently. So that's certainly great, and we love to see it. We love coming out here. I mean, the weather's great. I was watching clips from this race the last time we're here. We're 5 wide through the corners. I mean, you can't make, you know, that kind of race it up. You know, that's incredible. So I think that, you know, everybody needs to recognize just how good of a racetrack that this is, and also the market and how important it is to NASCAR and its growth. So, you know, all I can say is that, you know, congrats to everybody that's contributed to make that happen.
And then the streets of Long Beach were transformed into a racetrack, and I got to go on the track. Now I'm going to take you around to see what it's like to go 100 miles an hour.
They said they were professional.
All right, we are here with Andretti Autosport driver Ryan HunterReay. Now, usually Ryan is getting ready for this race, but today you are actually giving rides.
Oh, it's a fun media day. The biggest difference is, you know, being an Indy car just a few feet off the ground to being in these cars a little bit slower, a lot slower, and it's fun though because it gets the media out there, it gets people out there that support of the race, and you get to kind of feel the rhythm of the track. And certainly we'll be turning it on here though in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, certainly. And I think that for people that have never been on the track or been to an auto race, to actually get in a car like this with a driver like yourself is pretty amazing.
That's great, and that's what we love to hear. You know, it gives you a little bit of a feel of what's going on and just how challenging it is, especially on a track like Long Beach, which is just street circuit. You know, it's just walls all around. So if you make a mistake by a couple feet, it could be pretty costly.
Exactly. Okay, well, we're going to get ready for the race. Now, Ryan HunterReay is going to take me for a ride on the track. So if you ever want to know what it was like to drive on these mean streets of Long Beach, let's take a look. This is called messing up your hair, but it's worth it. Does that fit me?
Looks good.
As long as it looks good, right? Yeah, can I wear sunglasses? Oh my God. And a big thank you to Andretti Autosport driver Ryan HunterReay, who took us for that ride. That was a lot of fun. Now, there were a lot of other drivers getting ready to race at Long Beach. I caught up with 3 of them. Let's go chat with James Hinchcliffe, Simon Pagenaud, and Graham Rahal. All right, we are here with last week's race winner now. There's no rain in the forecast this week, but talk about the strategy that was involved in you winning the race last week in NOLA.
I mean, it was a brilliant, call by the team. I wish I could take credit. I was kind of against it in my head. I wasn't saying anything, but we honestly we made it on the belief that there was rain coming, and that we're all going to have to pit again for rain tires anyway. So we thought, well, why add a pit stop? Let's hold it out until our second stop and try and pray for the rain. And the rain didn't come. I mean, on one hand, their plan kind of backfired, but luckily all of my colleagues decided to help me out. And I mean, the amount of cautions was crazy. I felt bad for the fans, but at the end of the day, it ended up giving us enough fuel to make it to the end.
What goes through your mind as a driver when there's that many cautions and you're in the lead and you're thinking to yourself, can I hold on till the end?
Well, I mean, at first I was really mad at the cautions because we needed green flag running to get that gap so we could come in pit and at least come out in a decent spot. And then it became pretty clear that, all right, this strategy is going to have to change now because we're not going to have any time to gain a lead. We're just going to have to hope for enough yellow to make it to the end. So it's a lot of things are going through your head at that point. But again, the team did a great job. Definitely a bit of luck, but at the same time, we had the pace on those restarts. We drove smart. We didn't spin. Everyone else at some point in that race seemed like they were backwards or in the pits for a new wing. So we'll take it.
All right, and of course you have Elio behind you. Why is he always behind you when you're ready to win a race?
I don't know. As long as he stays there, though, it's fine. It's fine. I know. I had memories of St. Pete coming through. I'm like, no, go away.
Also, you're with a new team this year with Schmidt-Peterson. So talk about that and how it's been going.
I mean, it's been a great transition. Obviously, the results from the first 2 weekends aside, we had not a great weekend in St. Pete. Obviously, a pretty good weekend in NOLA. Just ignoring all that, just as a team, as a group, it's a great bunch of people, and the transition's been pretty easy, and it was nice to kind of get that win out of the way because there was a lot of expectation about that. But now, we know we're under no illusions. It's not like we led that thing from pole and all the rest of it. We still have a lot of work to do, but it's nice to know that we can do a lot with what we've got. Sometimes we might not be in the best situation, but it's a good group of guys to get yourself out there and be fighting for wins.
We worked really, really hard at Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan to, get a better feel within the team, to get better camaraderie, to get a better work atmosphere for our guys. And I think it's made a big difference. If you look at the early start of this year, we've been pretty quick. We haven't had as good a finish as we would have liked. But last year, had we finished 8th on a road course, we'd probably be feeling pretty good. But that's not the way we look at this season. And so, we're 8th in points, and we want to move up. And we're coming off 2 consecutive races here at Long Beach where we've been pretty strong, finishing 2nd 2 years ago, and then last year running up in the top 4 when we got punted by Elysian. But still, again, pretty good, pretty competitive car. And I think that our car's improved for this year, so we got pretty high expectations.
What's the key to this race in particular and why you've had success here?
Staying out of trouble. I think really that's the key. You got to have a fast car. When you need to push hard and get a gap, you got to be able to. But truthfully, you gotta stay out of trouble. And the restarts here with the hairpin, the long front straight, all that stuff, it breeds trouble. You know what I mean? So you got to be a little careful.
Ask you, last week was interesting with the rain, and what's your philosophy and your thoughts about racing in the rain?
Well, I really enjoyed it. I always have. And actually my car was really good in the rain. So I was hoping it was going to stay wet because I knew I'd been looking at the lap times. I knew I was the quickest guy in the rain. I was like, this is perfect. If we can run this thing. But I said to the guys at the very start, 5 laps in, I said, if it's going to be like this, it's going to dry fast. And it did, so unfortunately, it kind of took away a little bit of the momentum we had.
This season's going to be a little different. You're going to finish, actually, in Northern California in Sonoma. You'll be in Fontana in the summer. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, we shouldn't finish at Fontana because Fontana doesn't really have a great crowd, and it's not, it's a good race. It's an exciting race, but we need to finish on a really good high note. And I will say Sonoma fits very well because a lot of our sponsors, that's a huge event for them.
I want to go to Sonoma.
Exactly. Everybody wants to go drink wine, and all the wives and the husbands, if it's a female CEO or something, everybody wants to go to that race. And so that's a good one for us to end on, I would say. But hopefully we can keep increasing Fontana and see some growth there, middle of June. as you and I both know, out here is extremely hot.
It'd be a little warm out there.
But it was warm in August. You know, it was brutal at the end of the year anyway. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
You are now with, let's say, the team to beat. What went into your decision to be with Penske this year?
Well, it's a really good question because I always dreamt to drive for Team Penske. Roger has always been an inspiration of mine since I'm a little child. So to me, he's like, you know, for European people, it talks a lot when you say that. To me, he's the Enzo Ferrari of today. So having the opportunity to drive for him, Roger gave me a great offer, and when the offer showed up, there was no deciding doing something else. So I was super excited to join the team.
You have to be with one of the most elite team of drivers, I think, in IndyCar. What are you learning from them so far?
I think it's the elite driver in the world, to be honest. This foursome is incredible. We feed each other a lot of information on driving, on setting up the race car. And, you know, one driver may be a little faster here, a little brake later there, and accelerate sooner there. All of four of us are doing different things, but you can extract some out of it and make yourself better. And that's what's really exciting.
It's interesting because when I was watching the first race, I'm seeing you guys together in the front, and I'm like, wow, this is so much fun to watch. Here you're sharing information, which I know, but at the same time, you're out to beat each other.
Yes, I mean, that's, as the season's going to go on, it's going to get more and more complicated because if we run up front all the time like this, well, there's only one winner. So how do you balance that? And you can't take your teammates out of the racetrack either. So. But it's great. It's great because at the end of the day, it's down to the driver, and we have the same equipment, same chances, and I love that situation.
Here in Long Beach, you've all sort of had success here. What's the key to winning here?
Well, first you got to stay out of trouble. There's a lot of trouble here. You want to have a good qualifying so you can start up front, stay out of trouble. Stay up front, have good pit stops, and then the last stint is when you attack and you try to get into the lead and go away from everybody. So you're out in the safe area.
Because we cover all the races in California, you're going to actually end in Sonoma this year. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm really excited. I love Sonoma, not only because I love wine, but
I think everybody loves Sonoma, right?
That's right. It's a great area, not only for the wine country, but also because it's a great area to bring the partners of the teams and have them gather around us and get to see a really nice racetrack and us compete so hard on a road course. So I think it's going to be an exciting event, an exciting place to go.
Right, so you'll be in the heat of Fontana in June this year, and then it's Sonoma for the last race and a day race, not a night race, to finish the season.
Yes, I think it's exciting. I mean, Sonoma is always has so much action. So Fontana is going to be exciting too in the middle of June, especially with the heat. With our rear wings on the car, the harder it gets, the less grip we have. So it's going to be important to work hard on understanding the new aero kit on oval as well. The car should be faster this year again at Fontana, so that should be a very exciting time.
Now, in addition to the race car drivers, some celebrities took to the track in Long Beach, which is always interesting. Let's go check that out.
So are you going to go on fifth on the big straightaway when we race?
We're with Steve Mason. Now, Steve, you are the Mason in the Mason in Ireland. We also see you all over TV talking about the Dodgers, but today you are here at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach Celebrity Practice. What is it like to be out on that track?
I know that in training, I really struggled. I mean, I had a total of 8 spinouts up at Willow Springs when I was training. But on that last day, I raced really clean. So I feel like I can keep the car on the track, which is my goal and my dream.
Okay, now you went out on the track and you drove in the van, is that right?
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
You're trying to study, right? You're trying to figure out, okay, in this turn, here's the entrance to the turn, here's the apex. It's all this technical stuff that I really just learned. I only learned to drive stick about 3 weeks ago, so I've got to figure out exactly where to downshift to second and upshift to fourth and then fifth. So I am a work in progress.
And I know we're blaming Dad for not teaching you how to drive stick, is that right? right?
Yeah, my dad, I don't know what is wrong with my dad. What self-respecting dad doesn't teach his kid how to drive stick? But I've forgiven him, and I've moved on, and now I seem to have a grasp of it.
Okay, so biggest challenge out there is going to be?
Biggest challenge is going to be actually getting past, because every time I got past when I was at Willow Springs, my testosterone kind of get fueled up, and I got what they call the red mist, where I just get really angry, and I tried to immediately catch up and catch who was in front of me. I have to just let people pass me, and I have to accept that, and that's so humility has never been my strength, but I'm going to have to use it a lot in this race.
Okay, and biggest competitor in this group here?
In this group, from the front of the pack, from the non-pros with a 30-second head start, I think Josh Morrow is going to be really good. I think Willie Galt is going to be really good. In fact, I predict those guys will run 1-2 in this race.
Here with Willie Galt, who's going to drive in the celebrity race in the Long Beach Grand Prix. How much fun is this, Willie?
Oh, this is so much fun because I'm driving really fast, and I don't worry about a policeman stopping me, which is good, right? Exactly.
All right, now, you're a competitive guy, of course, so how competitive are you out there with these drivers?
Very competitive. I want to win. If you're not in first, you're in last. So that's what the Ricky Bobby says, right?
Exactly. So how was the first practice run out there?
It was actually really good. I learned a lot from the coach, and I'm ready for the second one.
There we go.
Exactly.
All right, so now this is just the practice round. It's kind of like the preseason of football, but the regular season will be on that Saturday for the race, so we'll catch up with you then.
Thank you.
Well, the Dodgers are back here at the Ravine, and there's already been a lot of movement in the lineup. But for one of our Los Angeles Dodgers, that's just another day at the office. All right, we are catching up with Justin Turner today. Justin, we are talking about the fact that you play so many positions on the infield, and we want to talk about specifically the skill set for each one, because most guys don't do that. Most guys play first base, they play one position. How is it that you're able to play so many?
Well, I don't think anyone coming up plans on being a utility guy. You would like to play one spot every day and be an everyday guy, but it doesn't always work out. So, I learned early that the more positions I was capable of playing, the more value I had to a team and to a manager to be able to be comfortable to put me in the game anywhere at any position. So just try to work hard, get ground balls at every spot whenever I can, and make sure I'm feeling comfortable.
Well, it seems like you'd have more of an advantage if you could play more positions in the game of baseball, for sure.
Yeah, I think in today's game, it's really going to that where you see so many guys now are capable of playing multiple positions, and even starting everyday guys bouncing around. I think Ben Zobrist is a big one. Sean Figgins, who was with us last year, kind of for me really started that trend of being able to play third base, second base, all the outfield positions, and actually being an everyday guy doing it. So there's definitely value to it, and you try to master as many as you can, and that way your manager can trust you anywhere on the field.
If you could pick one, which one would you pick?
That's tough. I've played more second base than anywhere in my career, but recently in the last 5 years I've probably played more games at third base than anywhere else. So those two are probably my most comfortable. Playing first base is
it's a little different.
A little different, but all kinds of fun. Yeah. Being over there, throwing the ball in between innings, just little things like that you kind of take for granted. And then when you get over there, I have a blast doing it, and getting the bag and stretching for balls and picking balls out of the dirt. It's a blast over there. And then shortstop's obviously, one of the most important positions on the field, and you're the captain of the infield when you're over there, and you're in the middle of all the action on all the plays, so that one's fun to play as well.
Have you ever tried the outfield positions?
I played 2 games in the outfield 2 innings in the outfield in my major league career, and I didn't get any balls hit to me. I had one go way over my head for a home run, but that was a little scary and a little different experience. All the fans are out there, they're ragging on you the whole time. You can hear everything they're saying, but like I said, it's just like first base. It's fun to get out in a different position and get the experience and see what it's like to be out there.
Now, what about being the guy on the mound?
I've never pitched. I pitched in high school,
but okay.
I mess around every day with Gonzo, throwing different pitches and messing around. And when the McGuire boys are here, we play with a ball and pitch to them and mess around. It'd be something that'd be fun to do one time in my career, but hopefully we never have to do it, because usually when a position player pitches, that means we're losing by a bunch of runs. So hopefully we'll never be in that position.
I was going to say, I've seen Don Mattingly throw some guys out there sometimes, and we're like, uh-oh, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, I think Drew had a couple innings last year, and he did pretty good. He's got a good arm. So, but like I said, hopefully we're never in that position and we don't have to worry about it.
You know, this team is already starting off so well and has the most home runs of any team in Major League Baseball. What do you attribute that to?
I just think guys are taking good at bats and not trying to do too much. You know, when you get a team full of big swingers who are constantly trying to hit home runs, you know, you don't really get a lot of results. And yeah, you get your handful of homers, but a lot of strikeouts come with it. And I think from top to bottom of our lineup, we got guys trying to put together good at bats. And then when you do that and you simplify your goals when you're hitting, you know, bigger things usually tend to happen.
Do you think maybe because people say they're probably not going to get a lot of home runs this year, they're going to be a lower scoring team, does everybody sort of think, well, maybe we can prove them wrong?
No, I don't think anyone's going up there trying to hit a home run every time or anything like that. Like I said, guys are going up and trying to take quality at bats, and that's what you know, Donnie wants and McGuire wants and Val, and you know, the front office is paying attention to that. They want guys to take good at bats and make the pitcher work hard and you know, really earn his 27 outs. And you know, if we can do that consistently throughout the lineup and make them work hard to get every out that they have to get, then you know, we're probably going to be in a pretty good position to win a game.
Finally, we're going to talk to Coach McGuire on the next show. What is it about? How has he specifically helped you as a hitter?
Oh, Mac's been great. You know, he doesn't get in there and try to you know, make everyone the same hitter. He understands guys have their own little quirks that they have as a hitter and what they've done their whole lives. He just tries to, you know, prepare us the best we can on pitchers and how he feels they're going to attack us, and helps us kind of put together a game plan to go into our at-bats for the night. And you know, that's all you can ask for from any coach.
Well, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, and obviously it's Mark McGuire. You know, he had a pretty good career, so you know, anything he says or any input he has on our swings, you know, we're going to be our ears are going to be open to him, and obviously respect everything that he has to offer us.
Do you ever get used to the fact that, oh, it's Mark McGuire, or do you sometimes stop and look at him and go, oh, that's Mark McGuire?
No, you still get it, and really our whole staff, you know, starting at the top with Donnie, and then you got Wally, who was, you know, such a great player, and then you got McGuire and Val and Honey. I mean, it really, you know, goes forever. The amount of respect that we have for our coaching staff, and that's part of the reason that they're such a good staff is, you know, they all played the game, they all were very successful at the game, but they, at the same time, they understand how hard of a game it is. So, you know, they don't put a whole lot of pressure on us. They just want to make sure we're playing hard and doing what we can to be best prepared.
And always great to share that information, that's for sure, with coaches like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you want to bounce something off them, you got a lot of experience and really good experience to go and run things by and get their opinion, and they've been great.
That will do it for us. Remember, you can watch Playing the Field 24/7 at playingthefieldtv.com. I'm Maria Serrao, and we'll see you next time.